¿Se escucha? ¿Confirman? Tengo una duda, weón. Roadmap. Wow, 2024. Acá. Ah, pero aquí no sale. 11.5. ¿Y ya hay roadmap 2025? ¿Que cuándo va a salir el 10.7? Ya, ahora sí. Veamos qué.
Hi, I'm Kayla Brown, and I am a game producer on the WoW team. I'm here joined with a bunch of our talented developers in order to show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into what we have lined up for our 1107 content update. One of the awesome features that we have coming in with 1107 is actually a brand new zone that we have named Siren Isle. Our design...
Igual se sabe que toda esa weá de zona nueva es como el desde. Según yo, siempre las zonas, siempre es con zona nueva. La isla era
philosophy when creating this zone was to make sure that we made a very engaging outdoor end game experience that would cater to a whole bunch of different play styles and player types.
Ok, no sé si confío que eso
Siren
sea
Isle
verdad.
is a mysterious island located in a particularly stormy part of the ocean. During the Fourth War, it was used by the Kulturans to mine azurite, and then everybody mysteriously disappeared. Recently, the island has sent out a massive pulse of energy, and everything heard it. And your allies are mounting an expedition to this island to find out what happened and investigate.
Players arrive in Dornegal to meet up with the goblin Skagit, which is Gazlo's assistant. And we find that the Earthen and the Arathi have already made it to the island, so naturally Skagit's ready to go. He's like, get on the Zeppelin, let's go, it's time for adventure.
Un Zeppelin.
What's fun about the
Qué old school irse a una zona en un Zeppelin.
Siren Isle is when players arrive, we see signs that Kulturans have been here before, but there seems to be nobody around, which is really interesting. We see all these buildings and structures, but by the time the expedition gets there, it's empty. It's one of those fun little mysteries, we hope. So on this island, players are going to have a wealth of enemies to encounter. We actually have 3 separate groups. So we have the Bloodwake Frykul, we have the Naga, and then we have a bunch of pirates. These groups will be rotating around on the island, so players won't encounter the same group week to week. Also, players will encounter a large crystal in the center of the island that seems to sing gently or hum, which has attracted the attention of both the Arathi and the Earthen. So our friends on the island, they're all here for different reasons, which is really exciting. The Earthen and the Arathi are here to study the crystal, and you know, the goblins are interested in what the crystal can do, right? And so they're a really fun cast of people to have because they're so different. But it's also fun to have them all together here because their differences actually might be more complementary than we think.
Siren Isle, being in a particularly
Siento que hasta ahora no han
stormy part of
dicho
the
nada,
ocean,
en realidad.
is regularly lashed by horrible tempests. During these storms, powerful creatures
Bueno, eso de que durante estas tormentas suena a evento time gateado, pero de aquí a la fucking China, man. Una vez por hora va a aparecer un raro. Ya lo estoy viendo, ya lo estoy viendo ya. El raro que hay que farmear cada una hora para sacar unas monedas que después son necesarias para... Ay, manito, bueno.
of all kinds come up out of the ocean and assault the island. Players can defend their allies to go into the storm. In order to do this, their allies have provided them with vehicles and weapons and other tools that they can use to take on these much more powerful enemies. There's all these crazy powerful enemies that show up, and you get to use these tools. For example, my favorite is the crawler mines. You can grab them, target one of the big nasties, and just have the bomb run up to it and explode. Boom. There's 3 caves on the island that are sealed up. Each of these caves has a deadly enemy inside. Players will be able to chip in, and you can donate to their excavations. And each of the factions, the Earthen, the Goblin, and the Arathi, have a different cave on the island, and players can donate to
¿Será
get the events to
eso?
open.
Supongo que eso será de toda la gente. Supongo que eso será entre toda la comunidad. Más cosas para que se busquen. Ese one se parece como a Max de Liquid. Versión developer. Max developer.
siren named Circe. It's a very powerful item that'll give you an edge, especially on the Siren Isle, and as weeks unfold, you'll be able to unlock more gems, more powers associated with Siren Isle and the ring. So
Ese anillo es como el anillo de Dragonflight. ¿Cómo se llama el anillo de Dragonflight? El Onyx, anillo de Onyx, algo así. Pero me acuerdo que ese anillo cambiaba un montón de cosas como en retail, como que servía para la raid y todo. Ahora están diciendo que solo sirve en la isla. Una zona nueva donde tenía un ítem que solo sirve en la zona nueva me parece bastante XD.
this is actually a model of Circe Circlet that you'll be able to see in game. One of our artists, Brittany Reinhardt, was able to throw it together, and you can see, like, even in game, you'll be able to...
Finalmente, los anillos ahora son un transmog. Rob, mira, los anillos ahora son un transmog, ¿no? Ahí está. Esto es justo lo que necesitábamos, cabros. Los anillos son parte de los transmog. Lo que todo el mundo pidió durante años, que tus dedos tuviesen un anillo. Eso es lo que necesitábamos.
See it on your character, which is, I thought it was pretty cool. You'll be able to interact with a lot of different pieces of content using this ring.
Porque el que dice me parece muy cool. O sea, de verdad, güey.
It'll be fairly strong, and it'll have 3 different sockets. Each one is a different type, and you'll be able to collect a myriad of different gems that fit into these sockets, all of which do different things. Even in the current season, they'll be fairly strong, and in the next season, they'll kind of be strong enough to give you a leadway to the new content coming up. There's a slew of really cool mounts, a bunch of different transmog appearances, some of which are unused from past years. That
unas gemas que te dan
really
poder que va a ser
exciting to
útil en
finally
el
get into the
contenido
players'
actual y en el
hands.
futuro.
They've seen it in the files long enough.
First thing is we look for a lot of reference to make sure that we're making something believable, something that seems like it's grounded in nature's rules enough so that when players look at it, there's nothing that's just like totally breaks their immersion. The aesthetic is really interesting. It's kind of inspired in some ways by the American Southwest. Like I was looking at some references of Arizona and stuff, the elements of those cliffs there. And so those are some of the things that we'll do to bring the world to life. We have filled this thing with a lot of some of our previous full zone maps because it's smaller, it's denser. So I'm excited to see if people can find all the crazy stuff that we did. I put in this little spooky spot back here. The quest designers wanted like an atmospheric kind of creepy spot. So I put like lots of animal bones have kind of been washing up in here. Another thing that's cool too is all these little like caves and micros that we added in. Each one kind of has its own crazy theme. Like over here, they'll spawn in this like crazy dragon that's gonna get spawned in from all these bones that have been collected and stuff. So that's kind of like the pinnacle of this like little creepy pocket over here. This used to be like an azurite mine over here in the center. So there's like elements of what happened here, but then you can tell something. There's also this really cool stuff that was put up in the ridges of the mountains. And one of the things I helped out with doing was like making a lot of this space playable. So instead of just being limited to a flat 2D plane, we can put stuff on top of that 2D plane, and then you get new gameplay experiences, new vantage points, like this big mine track that goes above everything. We definitely do a lot of play testing and soup testing amongst ourselves, and that really helps too.
¿Leyeron eso? Mira. Definitivamente hacemos muchas pruebas de juego entre nosotros. 1 en el chat, si creen que eso es verdad. 2 en el chat, si creen que eso es mentira. Hacemos muchas pruebas de juego entre nosotros. Yo, weón, como es el balanceo y como son todos los cambios y cosas, no compro ni cagando que hagan tantas pruebas, weón. No lo compro, weón. O a lo mejor hacen pruebas y si la weá está buena la desarreglan, no sé. Pero weón, el juego sale con tantos errores que no me compro que los devs hagan tantas pruebas. Definitivamente hagan muchas pruebas entre ellos. Ni una chance. La prueba son tres hueones.
Just kind of designing stuff in my corner that will like get people to actually run through it, and I'll get opinions from people who haven't been building it to see like where do they get lost, where are the pain points here. And that's a process we don't just go through for this, we go through it for all the spaces we design in our game.
Es que no le puedo creer cuando dice eso. Con todos los errores que sale el juego no tiene sentido que hagan pruebas.
Learn from our past mistakes and learn from our past successes and bring that forward into our new stuff.
One of my favorite little Easter eggs, because there are plenty on this isle, there are plenty of Easter eggs and secrets for people to look forward to.
Cuando la mina dice que hay huevos de Pascua, Esto es una señal de que esta zona va a estar activa hasta Pascua. Pascua no es como en marzo, weón. Este parche va a durar hasta marzo, el 11.0. Porque esto es el 11.0.7. Si habla de huevos de Pascua, uno pensaría en el evento de Pascua, que es a fines de marzo y principios de abril. Está bastante sus el timing. Bastante sus el timing.
One of my favorites personally is the bestiary, actually, all of the creatures that are native to the island. One of the things that I took a lot of inspiration from was actually dark.
¿Cómo que no se refiere a huevos de Pascua? Sí, dice clarito Easter eggs. Los Easter eggs son los huevos de Pascua. Ah, Easter eggs son referencia a otra cosa. Ah, bueno.
Darwin's finches and the Galapagos.
No tenía idea.
Essentially states that
Ah,
all
bueno.
of these finches.
¿Y esa referencia de dónde salió? Puta, perdón por no saber que Easter egg significaba otra cosa aparte de huevos de Pascua. Perdón.
Closely related, but on different islands, their beaks have become different, right? So they have adapted to do different things and eat different things. And so I took
Ya, sí, ya entendí, weón. Ya entendí que soy penca por no saber la referencia. Okay.
¿Seré weón?
that concept and I put it on the Siren Isle. Is like we have this isle. Where are all the creatures that have come here? How has the island been affected over time? Like,
Son
all
muy
of the
odiosos.
creatures are intentional, and it's a fun Easter egg that I don't think people would look for, but I hope that they'll
Pero
enjoy
como
uncovering
Bola Trump,
the secret
hay dos
of the
certezas.
history of the isle through
Igual
the
es
creatures.
tóxico y igual es
Thank you
malo.
all so much for joining us here today.
Bueno, en resumen, una zona nueva con un anillo que nos va a dar poder, que debiese ser relevante para el contenido actual, que va a ser parte del transmog por algún motivo que no lo entiendo, la verdad. No lo veo útil ni necesario en ningún contexto. No me parece que dé para un video de 8 minutos donde nos dicen una weá que es lo mismo de siempre. O sea, una zona nueva, donde hay eventos, donde hay un ítem que nos va a dar poder adicional, más o menos al final del parche, para facilitar, ¿no es cierto?, la red, esto y el otro, que va a haber que farmear probablemente un currency, o en este caso unas gemas, por lo que estaban diciendo, para un anillo. Me recuerda demasiado al anillo de, ¿cómo se llama la zona de la isla de Dragon Isles? La zona, esa isla de mierda. Forbidden Reach. Es como literalmente lo mismo que Forbidden Reach. Casualmente Forbidden Reach fue parte del 10.0.7 y esto va a ser parte del 11.0.7. No quiero decir que se te estén acabando las ideas, pero viejito, no sé. Me parece un poco meme, que es como literalmente lo mismo, es otra isla nueva con raros nuevos, con farmeos nuevos, pero es literalmente lo mismo. O sea, me parece un poco meme, la verdad. Igual quería verlo y dar mi opinión para opinar viendo el video, porque no iba a opinar sin haberlo visto. Y eso.
Our team had a blast in creating and bringing to life Siren Isle, and we
Y eso de
hope
que
that you
ellos
have just as
prueban las
much fun
cosas,
exploring it
no
as
lo
the
sé.
team did in creating it. Wanted to
Y el
thank you all
anillo
again, and it's
trans
really
me
good to
parece
see you all
turbio.
in the Siren Isle.
Bueno, jeje, pues, bueno.